Hey guys, Nick here again with Kelnick Tech. In an attempt to do another weekly do-it-yourself or tech tip video, I thought I'd take this Sunday afternoon to just give an initial impression and overview on Snap-on's new Zeus Scantool. We actually have it on trial at work for the past week. We got it from our Snap-on representative. Basically asked to use as much as we could this past week with any kind of diagnostics and check engine lights, drivability concerns that came in this week at work. Initial impression, I have been impressed. It gives you a lot of information right there, all concise in one location rather than backing in and out of different DTC reads or PID values or backing out again to do output state control or component activations. So what I thought I'd do is just make a quick video. Yes, I got the R32 in again. Yeah, I still have the check engine light. I know it's actually due to my high flow cats and everything, giving some implausible readings from our Verus 2 sensors. But anyway, yeah, I know what the issue is, but I thought I'd just give you guys a quick overview, show you what the Scantool does when you begin any sort of diagnostics, let alone starting with pulling the codes to see what's causing that check engine light. So what we'll do, hook it up and show you guys what this does. So what we'll do first, fire up the car. As you can see, obviously, yes, I do have a check engine light. So start communication. You can see I've already started. We're going to go into engine management. Continue. I'll actually turn that one off to avoid the chime. And give it just a moment to establish communication with the ECU, PCM, however you want to call it. It's going to bring us up to our screen. We're going to go to codes first. What this is going to do is going to pull up all my codes that are causing the check engine light. As mentioned, I was already aware of the cat efficiency codes, but likewise, because of implausible Verus 2 sensor signals, it is going to give me that secondary air injection flow codes as well. So if I go into diagnose next, it's going to pull up first off any TSBs that the system finds related to that specific code. In this case, none related. It's going to give me a top repair chart. In this case, it only gives me one confirmed fix. I already know that for secondary air codes, the secondary air pumps are common to go, or the combination valves on Volkswagens. In this case, it only did give me one confirmed result. But with that in mind, I did have a Honda in this week at work with a camshaft position code. When I pulled the codes and hit that diagnose, it gave me obviously no TSBs, but here I would have maybe 5 or 6 different confirmed fixes. And just graphing it out by which fixes were the most common found out in the field by technicians. I scroll down, it's going to give me all of my smart data, functional test, guided component test, again, all related to just that one DTC or code that I opted to diagnose first. If I go into smart data, what that's going to do is pull up any and only applicable PID values or parameter identification that are going to be related or corresponding to the DTC set. In this case, it was oxygen sensor and secondary airflow codes. So the system's going to automatically detect that and pull up just O2 sensor, readiness, signal values, lambda control values, and just give me anything like that in addition to mass airflow sensor, anything related to fuel trim or that could be affecting or causing these codes. The one nice thing about this screen, again, it's not going to do it right now in this instance because my secondary air isn't running, but again, getting back to that Honda that had the camshaft position codes, once I pulled up the smart data screen, it actually threw red flags next to some of these PIDs that were out of specification. In the case of that Honda, it was for camshaft control as well as my spark advance. Again, in that case, because the vehicle actually had a stretched timing chain, which was causing a improper correlation between the cam and crank. Again, that was on the Honda. Here on my Volkswagen here, I'm not throwing anything out of specification at this moment per the secondary air code. I go back to the main screen, which is, the one for the diagnostic screen. It's likewise going to give me functional test. Here's where I can run any sort of actuators or component test. Again, I already know what the issue is going on with my car here, but again, getting back to the Honda, when I came up with this screen, I could activate that VVT, variable valve timing solenoid, and hear that the engine would stall, thereby telling me that the solenoid was at least working on that Honda. I go back again to the diagnostic screen, scroll down a little further, you're going to have guided component test. Here's where you're going to pull up your oscilloscope. It's going to right off the bat give you any sort of applicable component information. In this case, for the secondary air, it's going to give me a pinout layout as well as the location of the actual pump. Just familiarizing the technician that may not know, and for the particular vehicle, what components to test. Likewise, giving you DC voltage. Again, in this case, a secondary air pump's just going to be commanded on at intermittent startups and cold starts. Again, just telling me how the system works and where to actually test the component for available voltage. We go back again. And actually, one more thing I did want to show you with the guided component test. When you are in a particular system, again, getting back to this Honda that I had at the shop, what you can actually do upon this component oscilloscope meter, it's going to pull it right up for you, automatically calibrated to test that particular system. Again, I apologize, but getting back to that Honda, I wanted to compare the camshaft and crankshaft signals to see if it did indicate a stretch timing chain. The Scantool is automatically going to pull up the meter and oscilloscope calibrated to read those particular sensors via it's a frequency or a Hall effect square wave, AC voltage, and this Scantool is a 4-channel scope, so it does give you the option to read 4 individual signals from sensors via live data rather than relying on just your parameter identification. I go back to the diagnostic screen, getting out of the guided component test. Down further, it's going to give you some actual confirmed fixes from technicians with their response on what they found, what their diagnostic procedure was, and what their overall confirmed fix was. Scroll down a little bit further, it's going to give you anything from real fixes, again similar to Identifix or ITAN that we use at the shop, or actual repair information itself like all data or Mitchell labor times and repair information. This all, again, just makes it convenient, giving the technician all the information in one spot. At work, what we typically do, we don't have the Zeus yet, again, it's just on trial, but typically what we're doing at the shop is pulling diagnostic trouble codes first, looking at our parameters and identifications from multiple sensors to see if anything throws a flag for us. Next, what we're going to do is go up onto our PC and look on the websites like Identifix, ITAN, look for, again, basically what's already given here on this diagnostic screen. What it ultimately results in is walking back and forth from the car up to your PC or computer, walking back to the car to run the test that you researched. This, again, with the Snap-on Zeus, it just combines it all into one screen, making all the information right there and accessible to the technician. For that reason, I have been very impressed within this past week of just playing around and learning this new Scantool. With that being said, yes, it is obviously not an inexpensive Scantool. It is something meant for the independent shop or a dealer that has the proper overhead to afford a Scantool like this, because it does have that and many more capabilities. What I find when I'm doing work at home, I have invested in just your generic code readers, which are going to pull codes, but yes, there's no output state control or component activation, and it mostly only communicates with the ECU, giving you check engine lights. You know, there's no real airbag diagnostics, ABS diagnostic versatility with your simple readers that you might pick up like this, or at your generic parts, auto parts supplier. For that reason, I had also purchased in the Matco Scantool. This is the MaxMe. I use this again for my at-home work. It was a much more affordable Scantool for my application at home. It allows me to download manufacturer subscriptions as needed for $20 a month for that particular brand. Otherwise, I can order market subscriptions, you know, European, domestic, Asian, for maybe $150, $120 a month. But again, this just makes it versatile for the do-it-yourselfer at home. What I'm trying to focus on is the brand new Snap-on Zeus that's a little more focused on your independent shop that has a lot more overhead and vehicle count on a week when they're trying to specialize in diagnostics, let alone a little of anything. You know, it makes it easier for the independent shop that maybe works on one brand or one market where they're used to seeing pattern failures. For the shop like what we do at Joe Davis, where we work on anything from domestic to Asian to late model Europeans, it makes it a little hard to keep on top of everything and immediately recognize things that are out of specification for causing a drivability code. Yes, there are standards in terms of looking at your generic PID values, which can help you, perform a proper diagnosis. But what the Zeus will do is actually speed up that process and just make it a lot more convenient and accessible for the technician. For that reason alone, I have been quite impressed with the Snap-on Zeus. That pretty much does it for what I was trying to basically portray to you guys. Hope you guys found this helpful. I'm always welcome to feedback, questions, advice, anything that may come or pertain to any kind of weekend do-it-yourself or tech tips. Comment below, subscribe. Appreciate you guys' feedback. You can otherwise follow me on Facebook, Nick Keller, or on Instagram. You'll see a lot of my detail work and weekend work I do here at home, as well as the shop where we work on a little bit of everything. Instagram tag being KelnickTech09. Appreciate you guys watching. Again, appreciate your feedback. Other than that, hope you guys have a good day and do what you love. Thanks, guys. Hey guys, just one other thing I forgot to really emphasize. If you guys have any questions in terms of do-it-yourself, weekend work, whether it's something simple like oil change, tune-ups, detail work, trying to get some scratches out, or just simple putting some protection into your paint on your daily driver, comment below. Let me know what you guys want to see. I'm more than happy to, and that's sort of why I've grown fond of starting to make some of these videos, just to inform people. You don't always have to take a professional. Take it to a professional to get work done. You'd be surprised what you can do with a little hard work, and just trying it first. With that being said, again, appreciate you guys watching. Let me know if you have any questions or things you want to see. Thanks, guys. Take it easy. Do what you love.